It's Friday, May 16th. In the headlines, the Morant Bay Urban Center in St. Thomas is now open, and Labour Minister is urging job seekers to remain vigilant. In business news, Statin reports that general price levels dipped by 0.4% in April. Regionally, in Guyana, 3 bills tabled to boost regional crime fighting. And in sports, West Indies prepare for Irish conditions ahead of a one-day international clash. This is the weekend news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. St. Thomas is no longer the forgotten parish. Those words were spoken by Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness during the official opening of the $6 billion Morant Bay Urban Center on Thursday. The event marks the completion of a project nearly 6 years in the making, situated on the 25-acre site, once home to the old Goodyear factory. The project has been spearheaded by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation through the Factories Corporation of Jamaica and contractors China Harbour Engineering Company. Dr. Holness says more than $32 billion was spent to improve access in the parish through road infrastructure and other projects.
And it wasn't just roads. We also put in water, we put in sewage, and we also laid the conduits and cables for broadband internet to come to this parish.
Symbolic keys were presented to representatives from various government bodies and private sector entities that will occupy spaces, including a KFC restaurant, which will be the first for the parish. The Prime Minister notes that there are plans to expand the offerings at the centre.
We're going to do another extension of 10 acres of new buildings for micro and small businesses in St. Thomas, right here, right on this center.
The urban center will host government agencies such as the Heart NSTA Trust, the Passport Immigration and Citizenship Agency, Child Protection and Family Services Agency, National Housing Trust, National Water Commission, and the Jamaica Information Service. Some private companies that will be located at the commercial unit of the center are Mavis Bank Coffee Factory, Stationery World, Ribby's Lounge, Devon House, Express Fitness, and Knoxford Express. Plans are afoot to execute more developments in St. Thomas. Speaking at the official ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new Morant Bay Urban Center, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness shared plans for several major projects, including a multi-purpose entertainment and sports facility near the urban center.
We have 13.5 acres of land in proximity to this development. And I want you to look out for it, because I intend to come to the first festival or stage show that is kept there, when Gramps and the Morgan family is performing, when Popcorn, as Prime Minister, of course. What do you think?
The Prime Minister emphasized that the $6 billion urban center is a key part of the government's vision to position St. Thomas at the forefront of new developments across Jamaica.
This development is not only going on in St. Thomas. We have already started the Boundbrook Urban Center. So the people of Portland will be experiencing this kind of joy to see the restructuring and redevelopment of their parish, to see the creation of a new economy in their parish.
Reggae artist Gramps Morgan, who hails from St. Thomas, also expressed his appreciation for the development. calling it a long-awaited step forward for the parish. The Labour and Social Security Minister, Pernell Charles Jr., is urging job seekers to remain vigilant and exercise caution when seeking employment opportunities, despite the government's efforts to reduce the number of illegal employment agencies operating in Jamaica. The minister points out that these unregistered agencies are not focused on securing overseas employment for Jamaicans, but rather on taking advantage of job seekers by stealing their money. In response, the government has been collaborating with the private sector to monitor and reduce illegal operations. Minister Charles Jr. revealed that the number of illegal agencies has been reduced from 93 to 49, and efforts continue to bring that number down to 0.
The new Jamaica Jobs platform is going to connect Jamaicans directly to real employment prospects, eliminating barriers and building an economy that works for the people.
Minister Charles was speaking in Parliament this week during the 2025-2026 sectoral debate. Schools across Jamaica are set to benefit from Wisynco Group's new initiative, Hydrate to Educate. The initiative, being executed through its water brand, is designed to promote environmental awareness while enhancing the infrastructure of schools across Jamaica. This year, the program will award $300,000 in grants to 14 high schools island-wide, funding campus development projects. Schools wishing to participate must register by the end of today, May 16, at educate.wisynco.com and engage in a recycling competition running until June 30. The 14 schools that collect the most recyclables will secure the grants. Young Brilliance will take center stage this weekend as Next Step Lifelong Educational Services hosts its annual Little Genius Show. Set for May 18th, the event is all about inspiring and equipping young minds for the future. Founder Tishona Mullings shares what's in store for this year's showcase.
So it's Child's Month, and it's my favorite time of the year because this is when the Little Genius Initiative hosts its culminating show. It's going to be on the 18th of May this year at UTech at 4 o'clock. And this sees young Jamaicans at the primary level between 8 and 11 years old, and they are executing a parliamentary debate. It's really a critical thinking and public speaking competition that I've been doing since the year 2013 out of my passion to see young people develop their confidence. Growing up, I struggled with esteem issues, and I found my voice through the art of public speaking. And this is why my project, my I Believe project as an ambassador for the Governor General Program of Excellence, is the Little Genius competition under the patronage of His Excellency Sir Patrick Allen. It's held every single year during Child's Month. What you'll see on the night of the show is an opening number with all 10 contestants from primary schools all over Jamaica. They each do a 30-second to 1-minute introduction of themselves. They do a talent piece that demonstrates their creativity, encouraging them to explore being an intellectual beyond just the books, but exploring their fullest creativity. And finally, and the most important part of the show, is a simulation of a parliamentary debate. The top 5 is then selected, and they do a critical thinking on-stage interview. There is nothing like it locally. It reminds me every single time of Steve Harvey's Little Big Shot. And just like I'm inspired by that show, I'm inspired by the big dreams that they have. And this year, we're under the theme, STEAM-Powered Dreams. I encourage every young Jamaican to come out. Every Jamaican, as a matter of fact, is a family affair. To come and see the Little Geniuses, speak about their STEAM-Powered dreams and how we can apply science, technology, engineering, the arts, and maths to transform Jamaica.
It was a showcase of creativity, culture, and communication as final year students in University of Technology's Communication Arts and Technology program brought their talents to the stage for the 11th staging of the Media Magnified exhibition. Under the theme, Creative Minds in Focus, the event was more than just a display. It was an immersive experience. Denita Rodney was there, and she brought us some highlights.
From podcasts to documentaries to digital campaigns and interactive websites, Lecture Theatre 50 at the University of Technology Jamaica was transformed into a media playground, each corner echoing the voice of a student creator. The annual exhibition is the capstone event for students in the Bachelor of Arts in Communication Arts and Technology program, where months of hard work, scripting, editing, and ideation come to life for public viewing. A major hit this year, the Media Maze, an interactive walkthrough that gave visitors a behind-the-scenes look at each project's journey. But it wasn't just students in the spotlight. Media professionals were on hand too, sharing stories and lessons from their creative paths.
The world is going to pull you in many directions. You'll get many jobs, freelance, you'll get 9-to-5 work, and it's going to try and pull you away from the story that you're trying to tell. You have to find a way to not only tell that story, but see if you can use that network.
So in communication, there's so many things, and you have to create your niche so people can say, okay, I want him to do my PR. I want him to do my social media. I want her to do my videography and photography. So because of how fast-paced communication is, if you're not at the top of your game, then you will be left at the wayside. If you're not at the top of your game and trying to improve yourself every single day at your craft and your skills, then you will get left behind.
In her keynote address, renowned cinematographer and director Gabrielle Blackwood shared with the budding media professionals that being a creative professional isn't just about talent, it's about respecting the journey. And for those making their mark in media, that means developing a strong work ethic and standing firm on integrity.
Being a creative professional and respecting the journey also means developing good work ethic and standing on integrity, and we heard this before. Reputation is make or break in this industry, and character is central to that. A lot of times I choose crews based on a balance of character and skill set. I will refuse to work with crew who I feel based on personalities will drag the production down, even if they're considered the best technically at what they do. It's a no-brainer. Media and filmmaking are a team effort. It's a team sport. Why lose work over someone else's behavior or hate going to work because you dread someone's personality, or have crews you know who personally don't get along with each other and therefore won't work well with each other?
She urged them to know their worth and protect their craft, even if it means turning down jobs.
There will be times when, as a creative, even when you're not doing well financially, you will or should, and this is a part that is also important, you will or should say no to offers that do not respect the time and effort you have put into your craft. I'm not saying be unreasonable and turn down everything, but you can gauge the sincerity of a prospective client who genuinely values what you bring to the table and one who is just looking for cheap and exploitative labor. Which is why relationships are so crucial to our industry. That's really what this is built on. The stories we not only create for exposure, but the stories we create amongst ourselves, in our various relationships, in our various conversations.
Launched in 2014, Media Magnified continues to bridge classroom theory with industry practice, giving students a platform to shine, share, and shape the future of media in Jamaica. With each project, these final year students prove that creativity isn't just alive, it's magnified.
Time now for the Business Report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. Several notable companies on the Jamaica Stock Exchange released their latest financial results. First up, Stanley Motor Limited unaudited financials for the first quarter ending March 31, 2025, reports a 52% increase in 3 months net profit. Then Carreras Limited unaudited financials for the first quarter ending March 31, 2025, reports first quarter net profit of $1.41 billion. From there, we see that Berger Paints Jamaica Limited unaudited financials for the first quarter ending March 31, 2025, reports a 77% decline in 3 months net profit. And then Fontana Limited unaudited financials for the 9 months ending March 31, 2025, reports a 9-month net profit of $489.84 million. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, reports that general prices level dipped 0.4% in April. Statin says this decline in average prices in April was due to a 1.4% dip in the prices of housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels, and a 0.5% in the prices of food and non-alcoholic beverages, and a 0.4% hike in the price of healthcare services. For the trading period ending May 15, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited with 18,722,849 units traded, representing 47.18% of market sales volume. Food distributor Deramon Trading Company Limited with 6,708,292 units traded, representing 16.9% of market sales volume. Alternative energy provider Wigton Energy Limited with 2,230,170 units traded, representing 5.62% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On March 16, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $79.81 million purchased and US $75.78 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned 66 cents per dollar, selling the US at $159.11 and buying the US at $158.45. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders $4.55 per transaction, with selling at $115.10 and buying at $110.55. The British pound yielded Forex traders $1.78 in profit, with selling at $211.38 and buying at $209.60. For our credit report tip of the day, in a world where data drives decisions, your financial track record can be one of the most important narratives about your reliability and foresight. Especially for early-stage entrepreneurs or small business owners, your personal credit may be one of the few objective indicators a potential partner or lender has to go on. So here's a few suggestions. Take some proactive steps. Monitor your credit score regularly. Know what your score is and what's affecting it. Also, pay on time. It's the simplest and most powerful way to build trust. Think about reducing debt. High utilization of credit cards or loans can signal high risk, even if you're never late. Also, separate personal and business credit. Over time, build a solid business credit profile as well. So the bottom line is, you might be the visionary, the leader, the strategist, but if your credit history isn't in good shape, it could hold your entire business back. And that wraps up today's Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, 3 key pieces of legislation to enhance regional cooperation on crime fighting and criminal justice have been developed by the Caribbean Communities Legislative Committee. These bills are expected to be tabled in legislatures across the region in the coming weeks. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Mohabir Anil Nandal, SC, disclosed during his weekly program Issues in the News that the legislation will be debated in Guyana's National Assembly on Friday.
Is the establishment of a regional modern forensic laboratory. And President Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali has volunteered Guyana to host that forensic laboratory. The Caribbean Court of Justice is playing a role in dealing with the prosecutorial and adjudicatory aspect of the reforms. Of course, it is being done also by a task force at the level of the executive, but fortunately, the Caribbean Court of Justice is also on board because they recognize that the criminal justice system in particular in relation to the magistrates court is in crisis. And they are working in partnership with CARICOM governments in addressing criminal justice in the Caribbean and addressing the challenges that are being faced. So it's a massive reform taking place at the level of the criminal justice systems across the Caribbean.
Trinidad and Tobago's Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers says government is working towards amicable solutions following new visa requirements for nationals traveling to the United Kingdom and Ireland. While consultations are still underway, Minister Sobers says the cabinet is actively involved and remains hopeful about a positive outcome.
Minister Sobers has received a report from the Permanent Secretary on the requirement for visas for TNT nationals when travelling to Ireland, whether or not the travel is in transit. The requirement from the Irish Immigration Service came into effect on May 12th and follows a similar announcement by the UK government on March 12th for travel visas for Trinidad and Tobago nationals.
So I have not yet dealt with that in its entirety. We're still having some discussions internally at the ministry with respect to that. And with respect to the UK situation, those talks are still ongoing, and we will definitely be updating the public once we've finalized certain things with respect to those conversations. The cabinet is very much involved in that as well too. It's a work in progress, and we hope that at the end of the day we are successful.
Meanwhile, Minister Sobers says the ministry continues to build on the foundation set while working alongside other government entities, such as the Ministries of Trade, Investment and Tourism, Finance and Culture, with the long-term push towards tangible gains for economic progress and development.
In terms of dealing with CSME and CARICOM, we want to ensure that the ministry also, apart from some of the intangible successes that the ministry brings by and large, we want to ensure that the ministry also starts to, it already has a foundation for it, but we want to build on that foundation to bring in some tangible gains as well too.
Minister Sobers was a guest at the launch of Asia Nights 2, hosted by the National Library and Information System Authority, NALIS, on Wednesday evening.
In sports, we're on the pitch with cricket. The West Indies men's team arrived in Ireland a few days ahead of their 3-match one-day international series against the hosts to acclimatise to local conditions. Here's more from Nasira Mohammed.
West Indies head coach Darren Sammy is optimistic ahead of his team's return to competitive cricket as the Caribbean side kicks off their 2025-2027 ODI campaign to the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup. During the team's first training session, Sammy said,
first of all, it's good to be back on the job. We've not played competitive cricket since December when we played Bangladesh. So it's good to be in Ireland, watching the guys practice. They're eager to go.
Sammy noted that his team is not taking the Irish lightly, especially in their own playing conditions.
It's against Ireland, and a team that has been very competitive over the years, especially against us. So we're not taking anything lightly in their own conditions. So it's good that we're here a couple days early to get acclimatized.
A notable addition to the West Indies coaching setup is former pacer Ravi Rampal, who replaces James Franklin.
It's also a pleasure for me working with Ravi Rampal, someone I played with, the amount of experience that he brings to the dressing room, my conversations with him, the data-driven approach that we are embarking on or continuing to embark on, he comes fully equipped with that, and hopefully he could have that impact on the bowling group that we're trying to have in this format of the game.
The originally named 15-man squad has been trimmed to 14, with a few key changes due to Indian Premier League commitments. Shafane Rutherford and Romario Shepherd will miss the Ireland ODIs, with John Campbell coming into the squad. Looking ahead, the coach set a clear short-term objective for his team.
To win, to come overseas. We've made home a fortress for us in the Caribbean in the one-day format. We are looking to get wins overseas as well.
With Ireland being the first opponents in the new cycle, the coach knows what's at stake.
First series for 2020-25. Ireland, like I said earlier, is a team that's very competitive, especially at home. But we have the full confidence that we could come here and win the series against them.
2 players with West Indies experience are in a star-studded Antigua and Barbuda squad for the Leeward Islands T20 Cricket Festival. Jack Matthew reports.
Hard-hitting all-rounder Rakeem Cornwall, who has appeared in 10 Test matches and captured 35 wickets, is one of the 2 cricketers. The other player with Windies experience is leg spinner Hayden Walsh Jr., who has claimed 28 victims in 25 ODIs, with his best figures being 5 for 39. Cornwall, noted as well for his exploits at the T20 level, will captain the team with all-rounder Karima Gore as his understudy. Gore is fresh from leading Leeward Islands Thunder to the runners-up spot in the inaugural West Indies Breakout League. Also in the 14-member lineup is all-rounder Kofi James, the top scorer in the Breakout League with 240 runs. 2 other Leewards players in that competition, leg spinner Michael McKenzie and Elroy Francis Jr., are included as well. Other notable selectees are Nino Henry, Javier Spencer, Glenton Williams, and Tyrone Williams Jr. Dari Francis, Jedediah Martin, Bartlett Henry, and Michael Dover complete the lineup. 2 reserves in Amal Nathaniel and Ishmael Peters have also been chosen. Pernell Watley will serve as coach and Pernell Joseph as manager. The festival will run from May 31st to June 8th here at the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium. Jack Matthew, ABS Sports.
And that's the weekend news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Pleasant viewing.